Hey folks, how we doing today? Hope everybody's having a great weekend. I got a couple clips here for you I want to bring to y'all today. A couple things I want to talk about, including slipping Joe Biden and something Elon Musk is talking about today. I'm talking about election fraud involving those voting machines. So stick around to the end. We'll do the Elon Musk article. I may have to go find my goggles in order to read the print. Look around and see. Oh, I got them. Don't sweat. But at any rate, I have noticed Biden is getting worse and worse and worse all the time with his bumbling, with his gaffes, with his inability to remember where he's at, where he's going, or where he needs to go. He literally needs a handler to put him on a leash to drag him to the left and to the right, almost like a horse that needs to be led because he's lost. Biden seems absolutely lost each and every time he gets out in front of the public. It doesn't matter if he's at a G7 summit falling asleep, or crapping his pants on stage at another event, or just bumbling because he can't read the teleprompter correctly when the words are written right in front of him, but he throws in the words like pause and don't read this line. Just the stupid stuff that you would think a normal human being would be able to cipher through. But not only is he in cognitive decline, but he's out fundraising with Obama and Jimmy Kimmel this week, which that went horribly bad as well. They did raise about $30 million. Big deal. But at any rate, the way he mumbles and bumbles at this event, at the end of the event, he gets shuffled off the stage by Obama in such a way that we need to discuss it. So stick around for that as well, folks. Got my goggles ready for doing a little bit of reading a little closer to the end, but this is somebody else's compilation of senior moments with Biden, and it's just a reminder of what we're dealing with every time he gets in front of the camera.
Mr.
Wondering Joe Biden. There he goes.
Critical to its defense production, like microelectronics.
That way, Joe.
On the matter of Russia's frozen assets in Europe and other places outside of those gun kits that contain these that can commit crimes, they're working like hell to stop it. They want to abolish the Bureau.
And that is this week, folks. Oh, he looks so lost, folks. And I'm not bringing this video just to make fun of the man with his dementia self, but I just want to show y'all, as bad as it is, as many people that see how discombobulated that he is, they're still running him. And on that note, Alina Paluna Haba, this morning said on one of the news programs, I believe it was Maria Bartiromo, that Joe will be replaced. She said Joe will not make it. She said they will replace him at the DNC. Depending on how this debate goes, they may replace him sooner than that. But I don't see how this man is going to debate Trump. That's what I see. How is he going to go 90 minutes with Trump toe-to-toe without a teleprompter in his ear and a news commentator protecting him? I just don't see how it's going to be beneficial for him. I don't think he can do 90 minutes of anything but eat tapioca pudding at this point. But here's a little more of Biden this week. Now, this is him at the event with Jimmy Kimmel and Obama. Another star-studded event for the woke progressives that want to donate money to the losing cause. Let me pull the screen over a little bit where y'all can see a little better. All right, now. I'm going to stop it right there for just a second. Now, a lot of times when you walk somebody off stage, Maybe it's because they don't know what direction they're going. Maybe the case in this situation. Maybe it's the fact that Obama doesn't trust Biden to wander that direction without some sense of direction, meaning somebody to hold his hand. Maybe this is virtue signaling from Obama that he's got his arm around Joe as they walk off the stage together. You know the old phrase, I got your back? Maybe this is Obama's way of saying, I'm really still running the country. Y'all need to elect Joe Biden again as I walk away with my arm around him and try to do it to y'all one more time for another 4 years. I think this is maybe about Joe Biden's inability to find the exit, but this also may be a little bit of virtue signaling from Obama as well as to, I got this. You know how it goes, folks. Very good possibility this was all about just letting the American people, at least at this particular event, know that Obama's got Biden's back. That is sad, sad shit right there, folks. I hate to pick on people that have mental incapabilities, but fact of the matter is, this guy's running our country right now, and he's lost as a goose in a hailstorm. Just a fact, folks. I've got another article I wanted to bring y'all today. I'm gonna have to do a little reading for y'all, but this is definitely interesting. I've talked about this once before. There is a fund set up on Twitter to help report, to try to get people to report voter fraud, and Elon Musk supports this as well. He's made a many tweets about stolen elections and the voting machines, and the fact that Hunter's laptop being suppressed was election interference at the least. Much less so many other things that we can talk about if you want to talk about the actual election fraud. But at any rate, I'm gonna read you this article, and I've got a couple little clips for you, including one from the group that is willing to pay up to $5 million out in as a tip line for anybody that knows about voter fraud happening in real time in your county, in your state, whether you're a county recorder or just a concerned citizen. If you're finding out illegals are voting, if you're finding out your city workers are doing illegal things to try to skew the process, definitely watch this video. It says Elon Musk calls for the ban of fraud-enabling voting machines, and this has went viral on Twitter as of yesterday. The risk of being hacked is still way too high, is what he said. So we don't need to use machines, and if anybody knows about machines being able to be hacked, you would think it'd be one of the smartest guys in the world, Elon Musk. So Elon Musk has called for scrapping of these voting machines. I'm not going to say them by name, but we know the companies, warning that they are at high risk of being hacked and manipulated by bad actors. I'm talking about with USB ports, USB flash drives, internet access when they're not supposed to have internet access, in so many different ways they can be manipulated. Fractal, that's another possible fractal algorithms that are put in the machine. There's another possible irregularity. It says posting on the X platform, Musk responded to a post from the independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who himself was weighing in on the recent irregularities that took place during Puerto Rico's primary election. And you got to remember, Robert F. Kennedy knows about stolen elections. He definitely does. He sees what they did to Bernie Sanders during Hillary's campaign, and he sees the way the Biden administration, the Democrat Party, is treating him as far as being able to get on the ballot and different things. Since Kennedy wrote, Puerto Rico's primary elections just experienced hundreds of voting irregularities related to these voting machines, according to the Associated Press. Luckily, there are a paper trail, so the problem was identified and vote tallies corrected. What happens in jurisdictions where there is no paper trail? U.S. citizens need to know that every one of their votes were counted, and that the elections cannot be hacked. We need to return to paper ballots to avoid electronic interference with elections. My administration will require paper ballots, and we will guarantee honest and fair elections. Now, that's Kennedy's campaign promise. That's going to have to be on the ticket from this point forward for anybody to make it, I believe, in this country. It says we should eliminate electronic voting machines, he wrote. The risk of being hacked by humans or AI while small is way too high. And that was Elon Musk reporting to, or tweeting back Robert F. Kennedy Jr. As long reported by the Gateway Pundit, electronic voting machines are one of the many methods that Democrats and their electoral allies have used to sway elections. The most notable example of this was in the 2020 when the machines played an important part of the swinging the election. Also in 2022 when the machines malfunctioned during Kerry Lake's race. Y'all remember that one, folks. Machines all mysteriously went down in Republican districts. Think that was an accident? Who knows, folks? But I know if we have to depend on these machines with no backup for paper, who's to say that the numbers are right? I mean, we need a secondary backup anytime we have anything so important that needs to be documented. And I think we also need a better sense of paper ballots, something that is counterfeit proof, something that's got watermarks on it and things like our dollar does. It says, if you are an election worker, an organizer, or a concerned citizen who has seen corruption in our election firsthand, we want to hear your story. For those who report fraud or abuse are eligible for payments from our $5 million fund. They got $5 million so far set up to pay out to people that call in with tips as to what's going on. It's called the Fair Election Fund. This has been set up for more than a month now. If you see any shenanigans going on in your town, definitely give them a call. It may be worth your while, not only to save your country, but financially beneficial as well. It says in January, Musk also called for a greater election security by calling for a mandatory use of photo ID. He described the opposition to this proposal as insane. Voter ID is absolutely necessary. Watermark, paper ballot only, counterfeit proof, paper ballots with numbers coordinating to your driver's license so they can know just how the paper trail grows. So you can find out basically if you voted or not in the election before the election happens. There's so many safeguards they could put in place, but they usually just don't. But because of that, we have to start fighting for our elections in every way possible, including before the election time. We got to stop the steal, make it too big to rig by getting everybody to vote, but also being vigilant and paying attention to what they do. I don't think there'll be a slide this time with the cardboard over the windows and things. I don't think it'll work that way this time. I think there was too much backlash last time, so if they try to steal it again, it will be through electronic means more than anything. Ballot harvesting of the illegal votes and the electronic machines. So we definitely need to be vigilant and watch for that stuff in our cities and towns. Here on boots on the ground in our locals. That's what we'll see it better than anybody else. You're not going to see it on a big level. It'll be done in every city, every county, especially in the blue swing states. And good way to report it. All you got to do is go to this Twitter site. It's called Fair Election Fund.
Free and fair elections are the bedrock of our American experiment. It's part of our core, but we can only have confidence in the result if there is trust in the process. Across the country, there are real cases of fraud and abuses of the system that have eroded our trust. From executive orders opening the door to non-citizens voting, while some cities look to make it commonplace. Unions rigging the game through unethical ballot harvesting, and some leaders outright refusing to follow the law when administering elections. This is happening in plain sight. But those in power look the other way. They lie and dismiss and then demonize common sense steps to ensure our elections are free and fair. And they're still lying. That's where the Fair Election Fund comes in. We're making a major investment to compensate those who expose cheating in our elections. If you have knowledge of abuses in the system, your story could be what helps preserve our democracy. If you are an election worker, organizer, or concerned citizen who's witnessed this corruption firsthand, we want to hear from you. Those who report fraud are eligible for payment from our $5 million fund. With your help, we'll shine a light on the corruption and stop it. This is how we restore trust.
we've heard that term, a threat to democracy. We've heard it 100 times, if not more, from every mainstream media outlet every time they mention Trump's name. If they don't mention January 6th, they throw out those precious little narrative. Threat to democracy. Everything is a threat to democracy. Now the Supreme Court is a threat to democracy because the left doesn't like the way the Supreme Court has been siding lately with their decisions. The only real threat to democracy in this country that I see, even though we are a constitutional republic, is the fact that our democracy, our voting system, that's what our democracy is in theory, has been tainted, has been skewed, has been bought and paid for, sold off, watered down, uh, unable to be checked because of these voting machines. So many flaws in the system at this point. That is the real threat to democracy, not who's running for president, not who becomes president. It's how the system is set up. And if it's not free and fair elections, it's not a democracy. Uh, I don't know what to call it, a socialist hellhole pretending to be a democracy. But in reality, we're a constitutional republic. But we should still have the right to vote people in or out of office at this point without the deep state and the deep state actors, including these voting machine companies, from having any influence on our people picking process. That's all I got for you folks. I just thought I'd bring y'all this today. Fair election fun. If you know about any shenanigans going on, here's your opportunity to help save our country and maybe get paid while doing it. Everybody have a great weekend. Like, subscribe, and share. Devoted Patriots. Over and out.